Virginia man claims he spotted Bigfoot. He has the video to prove it.
Seriously, look how big it is.
In the depths of forests and abandoned places, the unbelievable awaits. Sightings of Bigfoots,
Oh my God.
shapeshifters, and otherworldly entities breach and challenge the understanding of our reality. Hikers in a Brazilian forest had no idea that a creature from old stories might be real and watching them. They stopped to rest near some big bushes. Suddenly, one of them saw something very shocking. Behind the thin branches of the trees was a giant, black, hairy creature. It was sitting in a position that seemed like it was keeping an eye on something in the distance. It was for sure a Bigfoot, a famous monster from many stories. The friends quickly and quietly left the area. They told park rangers about what they saw. Bigfoot hunters came to look for clues, but they couldn't find the giant again. Spooky woodcutter encounter. Have you ever wondered what hides in the dark woods at night? A woodcutter found out, and his story will shock you. Last summer, he went into the woods to cut some trees. He worked all day, and at night, when he was about to leave, he heard strange noises coming from the trees. Curious but scared, he grabbed his flashlight and phone to record what he saw. Suddenly, behind a big oak tree, he spotted something that made him scared. A scary being with two horns and glowing eyes stared right at him, hiding behind the tree. It looked like the Chupacabra, a monster from old stories. He ran away, leaving his stuff behind, and never came back. The long-armed mystery.
Oh my God.
Did you know some forests might hide creatures we've never seen before? A hiker on Rocky Trail was enjoying a walk in the woods. Suddenly, he saw something moving on the other side of the path. He quickly grabbed his phone to record what he was seeing. There, peeking out from behind the trees, was a tall, dark creature that walked on two legs like a person. But this was no human. The creature had incredibly long arms like the famous Bigfoot. The strange being moved weirdly between the trees. Now, hikers come from all over to walk on Rocky Trail, hoping to meet the long-armed forest creature for themselves.
Oh my God.
The strange return. In a small town nearby, the brothers were overjoyed when their little sister came back after being lost in the woods for 4 months. But their happiness soon turned to fear when they saw her. She wasn't the same as the one who had disappeared. She moved in a strange, creepy way and looked like some skinwalker or ghost. She made weird noises. It felt like the woods had taken over her, making her act like a supernatural being. Terrified, they tried to drive the force away with fire and then ran away in fear. On the next day, they returned with the priest, and it turned out that girl has become a ghost now. So the priest performed the ritual to free the spirit. No one knows what happened with the lost girl in the woods. A strange night visitor. One night, as a local was about to sleep, he heard a strange sound outside. He looked out his window and saw something that made him very scared. In his dark backyard, a weird animal was moving around. It didn't look like any pet or wild animal he knew. The way it walked was creepy. Then, it made a loud, scary sound, kind of like a person, but not really. The local, with shaking hands, used his phone to take a video. In the morning, he showed everyone the video. His friends and neighbors were shocked. They thought it might be a werewolf, like in storybooks. Everyone kept looking for the strange animal, but it never came back. Scary night in woods. On a night in the forest, 3 friends went on an adventure when one of the friends went missing, and the other 2 friends went looking for their missing friend. They were scared, but didn't want to give up on their friend. As they walked deeper into the woods, they heard strange noises. They felt like something was watching them. Suddenly, they heard their friend's voice behind a fallen tree. Something felt off when they saw their friend acting strangely and moving creepily. Then a slimy, terrifying skinwalker attacked him. and the friends, terrified, rushed to escape the forest and reach their car. No one knew exactly what it was, but thankfully they made it out of the forest safely. Mystery of strange black creature. On a quiet evening in a small village, an unexpected event unfolded. A visitor was walking along when he saw a mysterious black being in an abandoned house. It was not like any animal he had seen before. Its body was strange and covered in odd, shimmering fur. It seemed to be terrified by someone and looked like a gorilla. The next day, the traveler returned to the spot but found no trace of the creature. The locals said they had heard tales of such creatures in old stories, but none had been seen recently. It was never seen again. The traveler left with a tale that puzzled everyone in the village, and the mystery of the black creature remains unsolved. Scary encounter in forest. Some Brazilian researchers in 2022 had a spooky adventure that made them wonder if monsters are real. They were exploring using high-powered flashlight cameras in a forest at night that could see in the dark. As they walked deeper into the trees, they heard weird sounds. Suddenly, their cameras caught something amazing. The video showed a tall, muscular, furry creature walking on two legs. It looked like a mix between a person and a big dog. The friends were scared. After sharing their video, a cryptozoologist analyzed that and declared it was a real dogman. Night in Indonesian forest. A bunch of friends decided to explore the dark forests of Indonesia at night. They thought it would be fun, but they had no idea what they were about to see. As they walked through the dark forest, their flashlights caught sight of a girl in a white robe. She was holding a mysterious bag, making the friends feel uneasy. As they got closer, they saw her yellow skin, wide eyes, and a gaping black mouth. The friends were terrified, realizing this was no ordinary girl. She was possessed by something. The scared friends quickly ran away as fast as they could. After that night, they told everyone about the creepy girl they saw. It was believed that this was a paranormal entity called a jinn that many believe to exist in this world. Terror of night. In a faraway jungle in Peru, something scary was happening. The Akitu people were afraid because strange, tall creatures kept attacking them at night. These creatures had yellow eyes that were glowing and could fly. Locals said these beings looked like green goblins from Spider-Man movies and had peel faces. Everyone was talking about aliens coming to Earth. So what's the truth? Are aliens really visiting the jungle? As people try to find out, everyone keeps wondering, what's really hiding in the dark Peruvian forest? Ghostly figure by river. A team of ghost hunters was looking for ghosts, but they didn't know how weird their night would get. Suddenly, they saw a mysterious man sitting on the edge of the river. But this wasn't a normal man. He was pale and his face was unrecognizable. When the team tried to get closer, the strange man jumped into the river and vanished. They were puzzled by what they had seen and couldn't explain it. So they told that incident to the villagers living nearby. Later, villagers claimed it was the ghost of a man who had taken his own life by the river, adding a twist to the mystery. Hairy giant in woods. Something big and surprising was about to be caught on camera in a quiet forest. Two hikers were walking along, not knowing they would film something that would make people all over the world wonder. They were in a forest clearing when they saw a huge, hairy creature. It had brownish-orange fur and walked on two legs. The hikers quickly started filming. In the video, you could see the creature's big muscles moving as it walked. It took long steps, almost like a person, but not quite the same. When the hikers shared their video, it caused a lot of excitement. Many viewers who saw that video believed it might be Sasquatch, also known as Bigfoot. The video became famous as some of the clearest footage ever of the mysterious forest giant. The scary rooftop encounter. Two boys in a small town had a frightening experience one night. While they were playing in their room, they heard strange footsteps coming from their roof. Even though they knew no one else was home, the sound continued. They took a stick and opened the rooftop, and suddenly they saw a creepy face peering down at them through the roof. The face had black hair and pale skin. The boys were terrified and quickly ran out of the room. When their parents checked the roof, they found nothing there. Was it an alien who had landed its UFO on their roof? The boys' story left everyone puzzled. The spooky face was never seen again, but the boys remained cautious whenever they heard noises from above. Forest floor crawler. Forest officials set up a camera to film animals. Instead, they caught something really surprising on video. In the night footage, a weird thing appeared. It moved on all fours, but not like any animal. Its body was bent strangely with long, skinny arms and legs. It crawled across the ground in a way that seemed impossible. As quickly as it showed up, the creepy thing disappeared into the dark. People who saw the video argued about what it could be. Was it an alien, a mythical shapeshifter, or something unknown? Now the forest seems full of mysteries to anyone who goes there, so better be careful when you visit. Adventure in Russian woods. On a freezing day in Russia, a truck driver faced a scary situation. His truck broke down near a spooky forest, leaving him all alone. Weird noises from the trees made him curious, so he walked into the forest. As he went deeper, he felt like someone was watching him. His heart beat fast. Suddenly, he saw a big, hairy creature crawling towards him. Its eyes shined in the dark, looking almost human, but not quite. The driver stood with fear. Could this be the famous Bigfoot? He turned and ran as fast as he could, tripping over branches. Finally, he made it back to his truck and got help, but kept wondering what strange creature he had met in the lonely Russian forest that day. The Paranormal Mystery. In a city near an old forest, villagers were scared as they talked about a scary monster. They caught it and gave it to scientists. Now, in a secret lab, scientists kept that strange creature. It was behind a net of a window curtain, looking almost human, but not quite. It had big white eyes and sharp teeth, making weird noises and pointing with its long finger. Is it asking to be free? Or a warning about something? People were quick to call it a parakang, a mythical creature from Indonesian folklore. Spooky shadow in forest.
Right there. It's creeping me out.
Something creepy was about to happen in a quiet forest. A group of friends decided to explore it, not knowing they would see something they'd never forget. They went deep into the forest. One of them drew a strange circle on the ground, saying it was for a ritual. Suddenly, they all felt something odd. When they looked at the circle again, they saw something that made their hearts stop for a second. A tall black figure was standing right in the middle of the circle. It was shaped like a person, but didn't look human at all. Was it a ghost? The friends ran away, scared and confused, and told others what they saw. But when people went to check, the black figure had disappeared. The story of the shadow in the circle became a big mystery in the town, making everyone wonder what happened in the forest.
Right there. It's creeping me out.
Waving shadow in woods. A family during their camping trip saw something they would never forget. The father was recording his son when he noticed a tall black shape standing near the trees. At first, he thought it was just a shadow, but then it started to move. The dark figure was waving its arms like it was trying to get someone's attention. The family watched, feeling scared. What could this mysterious creature be? A ghost. As quickly as it appeared, the black figure disappeared into the woods. Confused and curious, the family searched the area, but the waving figure disappeared. They told the local ranger, who recorded the strange encounter. The night hunter's surprise. Have you ever felt like something was watching you in the dark? A hunter had a scary night that proved sometimes such fears are real. One dark night, he went outside to check if any deer was eating his garden plants. He brought his phone to use as a flashlight. As he walked near the forest edge, he heard the sound of a branch break. Quickly, he turned and took the footage. What he saw in the video made his skin crawl. There, near some bushes, was a strange-looking species that looked totally out of this world. It had round eyes and scary teeth and looked like some alien from outer space. The hunter ran back to his house. He showed the footage to his friends, and soon many people came to look for the mysterious forest creature. But it was never seen again. Scary night in woods. A hunter had set up a trail camera to watch animals, but it recorded something much scarier instead. The camera filmed a little girl in a white dress. She ran into view, sat down, then quickly got up and ran away. But she wasn't alone. A creepy, shadowy thing followed her. As it got closer to the camera, it looked less like a shadow and more like a ghost. It creepily crawled on the ground. Its face was blank except for glowing eyes. It had long dark hair and wore a white robe. The hunter was very scared when he saw the video. Some people said it might have been a lost girl being chased by an evil spirit called a jinn. The hidden giant. Last summer, a man named Tom went hiking in the beautiful mountains. He was making a fun video to show his friends back home. Tom walked around, pointing his camera at the pretty trees and rocks. He felt happy and safe in nature. But when he got home and watched his video, he got a big shock. A huge, hairy creature was standing in the valley watching him. It looked just like the Bigfoot monster from stories. It was much taller and had dark fur all over. He couldn't believe he hadn't noticed it while he was there. Now, his video is famous, and people come from all over to hike in Bigfoot Valley, hoping to see the giant forest monster for themselves. Scary experience in woods. A group of friends went camping in the woods and found a nice spot to set up their tent. They thought they were alone, but something else was watching them. They put up a trail camera to keep an eye on their campsite. When they looked at the video later, they got a big surprise. There was a huge, dark creature standing behind the trees. It was a tall, hairy creature that was peeking at the campsite, maybe wondering why these humans were in its home. The campers were shocked. Could this be the famous Bigfoot? They quickly packed up and left, feeling scared, and later put that video on social media. And when experts looked, they said the creature was about 8 feet tall, way too big to be a person in a costume. It was for sure belonged to the cryptid creature family. Tiny green tricksters. A family was enjoying a trip through the giant trees when they saw something amazing and filmed them in a British forest 3 years ago. Tiny green men fairies, who were very small. These little creatures had pointed horn-like ears and wide mouths standing at the greenery. When the family called the forest rangers to show them, the little green beings were nowhere to be seen. Now, that forest is famous for its little green friends, and kids love to search for them among the big trees, hoping to catch a glimpse of their magical games. Scary, dark forest.
What is that? Is that a person?
Forests are scary, and two friends in a forest learned this the hard way when they decided to explore the Rocky Mountain woods. At night, as they walked deeper into the trees, they saw something strange on top of a big rock. It looked like a person, but not quite right. The thing was eating something, and then it turned to look at them. Scared, they ran away. But the pale, skinny humanoid creature appeared in front of them, blocking their path. It could be a shapeshifter or some Skinwalker. It had dark hair and stared at them with big eyes. The friends were so frightened they couldn't move. Somehow, they found the courage to run around it and escape. When they got home, they told everyone about that creepy encounter. Now, people in town whisper about the forest shapeshifter, and no one goes hiking at night anymore.
What is that? Is that a person?
Spooky discovery in forest. In the forest, a forest range officer climbed into his patrol vehicle to patrol, unaware that today would be far from ordinary. As he drove along the winding path, his dash cam silently recorded the landscape at night. Later, while reviewing the footage, the worker's eyes became wide. There, peeking from behind the ancient trees, was an enormous, hairy figure. The creature stood at least 10 feet tall, its massive body covered in brown and orange fur. Despite its size, it seemed to be trying to hide. Its scary face and a strange two-toned coat made the workers' hearts stop for a while. Could this be the legendary cryptid that campers sometimes whispered about? The Hidden Watcher. Last year, a bunch of people were flying a drone to look at the jungle from above. As they flew the drone near a high cliff, they saw something that made them stop in their tracks. Hiding behind some leaves was a creature that didn't look like anything they knew. The strange being had a big head and dark, sunken eyes. It moved its head slowly, trying to stay hidden. The explorers thought it looked just like the gray aliens from TV shows about space visitors. They caught it all on video. Some think it's proof that we're not alone. What do you think could be hiding in the deep jungle? Strange creature in woods. In a forest, something scary was hiding. What could it be? Some brave explorers were about to find out. One night they went camping in a thick forest. They heard weird noises and decided to look around. Using trail cameras, they filmed the trees. Suddenly, they saw something that made their hearts beat fast. A pale, skinny creature was crawling through the bushes. It looked alien-like, and its body resembled a human. Its body was too skinny and moved creepily. The explorers ran away and showed it to the surrounding residents. They wondered if it was a monster called the Rake, or even an alien, but no one knows for sure what it was. Mystery behind trees. On a quiet summer night, a wildlife photographer's routine took an unexpected turn. As he scanned the landscape through the camera lens, something caught his eye. A face totally out of this world. Right up against a twisted tree trunk, a creature stared back with weird eyes. Its features were a bizarre mix of reptilian and alien. For a brief moment, the being held its gaze, as if studying the human. Just as quickly as it appeared, the creature vanished, leaving only footprints in the woods and a single, blurry photo. The image sparked heated debates online. Was it an undiscovered species, or evidence of something more otherworldly? The dinosaur chase. One day, some visitors were exploring the forest when they heard strange noises coming from the bushes. When they turned to see, they couldn't believe their eyes. A group of small creatures with tall necks that looked just like dinosaurs ran across the other side of the forest. The visitors were scared. They tried to record the mini creatures, and later those videos were analyzed by experts who declared them weasels, who were running around looking for food. The terrifying creature. One night, a few people came to take out some wood for cooking. They were searching for good dry wood with the help of torchlight, when suddenly at one tree sat a creepy, short animal. His face was very scary, like some rake creatures from old stories. As soon as they saw that thing, they ran as fast as possible and made themselves out of that forest. The town keeps the story alive, telling it to wide-eyed kids on camping trip. A strange, slithering surprise. One day, a nature photographer was exploring a remote forest. Suddenly, he stopped in his tracks. There, right in front of him, was a snake he had never seen before. It had an odd face and, strangest of all, feather-like structures on its head. The photographer quickly snapped some pictures of this unusual reptile. News of this bizarre snake spread fast. Everyone was amazed by its unique features. The snake became known as the feather-headed serpent. It was taken to a special research center where experts could learn more about this new species. The mysterious Lantern Man. A fisherman driving by night coming from a fish trip at a reservoir in Pennsylvania had no idea he would spot a creature from local legends. A tall, dark figure walking by the road. The strange being held a glowing light in its hand. When he looked closely at the video, he saw it wasn't a normal person. It was super tall and reminded him of a Skinwalker. People who lived nearby later told him that it was the Lantern Man. It had glowing eyes, looked very skinny, and was covered in mud. The origin of this man came from when a man tragically drowned in the reservoir. After the drowning, strange sightings began to occur. Strange sighting in Brazil. In the heart of Brazil's jungle, something out of this world was about to be seen. Forest rangers were on duty monitoring everything when they saw something. There, in a small clearing, stood a creature totally out of this world. It had a big, odd-shaped skull and huge black eyes that seemed to shine in the moonlight. The creature didn't move like any animal they knew. The rangers quickly took some blurry photos before the strange being disappeared into the thick jungle. No trace of the weird creature was found afterward. The jungle alien became a big mystery in Brazil, making people wonder if we're really alone on Earth. The backyard visitor. One dark evening, a man went out on his balcony to enjoy the night air. He looked at the big, leafless tree in his backyard. It was as tall as a two-story house. Suddenly, he saw something that made him shocked. Sitting at the very top of the tree was an unusual species. He quickly grabbed his phone to take a video. It was grayish and had a face like a goblin from storybooks. Its body looked a bit like a person's body. It sat very still, trying not to be seen. He showed his video to his neighbors, and soon the whole town was talking about the goblin in the tree. People wondered if it came from the nearby forest or even from outer space. Now everyone in town keeps an eye on their trees at night, hoping to spot the mysterious visitor again. The dragon snake. One hot summer day, a group of kids was playing near a dirty sewage water line in Bhopal, India. Suddenly, they heard a strange hissing sound. When they looked closer, they saw a snake, unlike any they had ever seen before. It had a face that looked like a dragon's, with big horns on its head. The children ran to get their parents, but when the grown-ups came, the snake was gone. Nobody believed the kids at first, but then a farmer saw it too. Soon, the whole town was talking about that cobra dragon snake. People came from far away to try to see it. Even though nobody could catch it, the legend of the Bhopal dragon snake lives on in stories told around campfires. Daylight scare in forest. In some woods on the mountains, one sunny afternoon, a hiker was enjoying a walk. As he turned a corner on the trail, he saw something that made him stop in his tracks. Standing in a clearing was a tall, thin figure that didn't look quite human. It had long arms and legs and looked like a Cry-Tip D creature. It started throwing stones at the hiker. He was scared, not sure what to do. He watched as the strange figure turned its head towards him, then suddenly went into the trees. The hiker saw something move so quickly it looked like a blurry figure and rushed back to town. People were scared and guessed it might be a skinwalker, a shape-shifting creature from old tales. Ghost hunter of Whispering Woods. Have you ever heard trees whisper secrets? In the Whispering Woods, a hidden trail camera caught something that made even grown-ups scared to go hiking. Last fall, some forest rangers put a special camera on a tree to watch animals. When they looked at the video later, they saw a tall figure appearing in the forest. It looked a bit like a person, but it was very tall. The strange shape walked behind a tree and vanished. The rangers couldn't believe their eyes. People in town said the woods were haunted by the ghost of an old hunter. The creepy walker. Have you ever heard an animal that sounded almost human? One evening, a group of friends sat around a warm bonfire near the dark woods. As they told spooky stories, they suddenly heard rustling from the trees. Suddenly, they were shocked to see a big, black, dog-like figure moving in the shadows. To their surprise, the creature stood up on two legs like a person, took a few steps, then dropped back down and disappeared into the forest. The friends were left in stunned silence, unsure of what they had just seen. Later, residents who lived there started calling it the Dog Man. And now, that place is famous for its half-dog, half-human creature. Haunting of abandoned building.
It was some sort of unknown humanoid creature. As soon as
A group of friends decided to explore an old, abandoned building at night. They approached the dark structure with only a flashlight to guide them. As they slowly opened the creaky door, they were met with a shocking sight inside. A strange, humanoid creature with a pale, skinny body and a disturbing appearance was crawling there. As soon as the door was opened, the creature dashed towards them on all fours, making the friends panic. The friends fled in fear, and their hurried escape meant the video they took wasn't very clear. However, when slowed down, the creature's unsettling features were visible. They believed it could be a cryptid like the rake or a skinwalker. The exact location remains unknown, but the encounter left everyone who saw the footage deeply disturbed.
It was some sort of unknown humanoid creature. As soon as they
Open discussion. In the dark forest, something weird was moving around. Residents walking by heard strange noises. They saw a big shape hiding behind bushes and trees. It wasn't a normal animal. This thing could stand up like a person, but it looked different. It had fur all over and a face that was long and scary. Residents saw its sharp teeth and eyes that seemed to glow. When it made a sound, it was super creepy. Not like any animal they knew. Everyone was scared and confused. What was this strange thing in the woods? Why was it there? Later, they found out it was a dog man, a creature that's part dog, part human, and it was very scary